If I told you all we're on a cosmic video game that's being ran by AI, would y'all believe me?
Yup. It's a simulation, guys. Simpsons been told us. Ain't no such thing as coincidences, right? Any of y'all Simpsons fans? Let me know in the comments. Is this legit? Or is this one of those Sora tricks? These can't all be real, yo. Crazy. Crazy.
Simpsons, known for predicting all types of stuff, just predicted that there will be a nationwide blackout. Let me show you real quick.
Great blackout. We have no power and no prospects of getting any.
What is it? What is it? We'll never know! Don't worry, kids. The government will help. The government cannot help itself, let alone you.
Facts.
But you don't just have to take it from the
Shut
Simpsons.
down now.
Many politicians and even Donald Trump have talked about how weak the power grid is and how only a small attack could take it down. Check it out.
You don't have to hook into the grid, which is old and, you know, could be taken out. If it's taken out, they wouldn't have any way to get any electricity.
Oh, would you look at that? Putin has now announced tests of a tsunami-making nuclear weapon. If only someone had been warning us about this nuclear underwater torpedo for a while now, maybe we could have been aware that they were going to use this. For years now, people labeled me as a conspiracy theorist or sci-fi expert for talking about this stuff, but now they're openly discussing it, you know. First,
that's how
people deny it, then slowly they normalize it, then announce it like it is brand new information. I have literally been talking about this for about a year now. So yeah, this is the world's largest underwater autonomous nuclear torpedo that they have named Poseidon. Poseidon being, you know, the ancient Greek god of the seas that caused earthquakes and tsunamis to the earth. Just think about it like this. If they're only just telling us about this technology today, how long has it actually been in use? Because we know that history shows us the same pattern. Governments don't tell you when they develop a technology, they tell you when they can no longer hide it. Think about it, you know, night vision tech, drones, satellites, facial recognition, neural implants. By the time the public hears about this stuff, it is already old news behind closed doors.
20
so when
years,
they say
20 years old.
Casually like, oh yeah, Russia has a system that can cause a man-made tsunami, that's not the beginning of the story. That's the part where they finally admit a tiny piece of the truth, you know? Listen, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Because
it does.
There has been so much seismic strange activity coming out of Russia this year, you know, earthquakes, tsunamis, underwater events that just didn't quite add up, and now it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You know, the real question really is, why are they choosing to reveal it right now at this moment in history? You know, is this a coincidence? Is it convenient timing? Or is it just psychological conditioning, you know, preparing the public just in case a mysterious wave ever needs an explanation? Just a thought. Anyway, beautiful people, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And obviously for the censor reasons, this was all just for entertainment, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Scientists have discovered a way to recreate your fingerprints simply by the sound that it makes rubbing across your touchscreen. So they can recreate without even seeing your fingerprints. It's called Print Listener. If the government wants to, let's say, frame somebody, they just need your fingerprint. Once they can recreate your fingerprint, they can actually get a photo image of your specific patterns of fingerprints. Spooky. And then what they'll do is they'll take that, put it in a 3D printer, make a physical copy of those prints, and then they can take that 3D copy and put it on a window, put it on a can. And how are they going to get this fingerprint? Because you've never given it, you've never put your hand anywhere, through the sound of friction rubbing across your touchscreen.
but how it slides across the screen.
Because for you to be copied, you would have to scrub the same way, at the same velocity, at the same pressure, and have a very close fingerprint at the same time to make a replication, which now we're adding layers of improbability. Everybody does everything a little different, which makes a different picture.
Oh, that's it, guys. The very first consumer-ready model of a groundbreaking humanoid robot for domestic use in your house that runs off of AI technology is here. I want to introduce you to Neo, the home robot, which recently launched for pre-order on October 28th of 2025. Now, this is a massive shift from what most people see as like industrial robots or robots that were made for warfare to accessible home automation. It's been backed by major investors, including OpenAI. Neo is supposed to be capable of learning from real-world interactions, including optional human teleoperation, in order to improve over time, meaning that it's going to start off kind of like a toddler, and it's going to grow up and adapt, and it's going to learn how to do tasks better and get better and better at doing day-to-day tasks in your home. And you could own one for the mere price of $20,000. Now, the company that designed this is called 1X Technologies, which is formerly known as Haloti Robotics, that was founded in 2014, and it's a Norwegian-American robotics firm with a mission to build safe, intelligent humanoids for homes and commercial spaces like logistics and security. Now, they're rebranded back in 2022, and the company raised over $100 million from backers, including OpenAI's startup fund, Samsung, and EQT Ventures. Now, the CEO, Bernd Bornich, has emphasized that Neo is the, quote, first step towards a more abundant future, end quote. The Neo Beta was first unveiled in 2024 as a lightweight 55-pound prototype for pilot home trials, and it focused on walking and basic manipulation. Then in February of 2025, Neo Gamma was introduced with hardware upgrades, so that way it could like be more reliable, it was quieter, and also AI improvements in order for tasks like vacuuming and grocery handling to be a little bit more achievable. Then by June of 2025, there were some massive updates on the Redwood AI, which is the AI platform that helps run the robot, and also the 1X World model for embodied learning in varied home settings. And then by October of 2025, the company executed their full consumer launch with pre-orders. If you wanted to pre-order one, it's only a $200 refundable deposit that will secure you a spot as of October 29th of 2025. But if you want to outright purchase the entire thing right out the gate, well, it's 20 G's, $20,000, and includes priority 2026 delivery. There's also going to be a subscription associated with the robot that's going to include like flexible ongoing support / updates in your home, software updates and things like that, which is going to be $499 a month, which I would imagine that's going to be flexible. Eventually it'll probably come down in price once enough people have them. Like if they got one of these robots in everybody's house in America, it's probably going to reduce the costs of subscription fees because they'll be able to afford to pay for all the overhead and the data centers and everything else that's going to be there in place to help with teleoperation sessions or customer support. Anyway, this thing's got cameras on its eyeballs, which means it's going to be able to see the things that's surrounding you. So, how is everyone feeling about this?
Okay, so do you guys remember?
I don't like it.
You know, the place with the giant hadron collider that may or may not just be smashing particles together at the speed of light, opening up portals to God knows where. You know, the one that's logo literally has an incorporated 666, and they have a statue right outside their building, which is Shiva. Shiva being the destroyer, the god of death and destruction. Of course you don't, because they're never in the headlines. Well, guess what? They have been working on something that's worth $62 trillion per gram. Honestly, this is insane. Ooh. Check this out. This substance right here is called antimatter. For every particle of matter that we have in this realm, there is an opposite. You know, the same mass, opposite charge. And when matter and antimatter touch, they completely obliterate, releasing pure energy. Not like petrol explosion. I'm talking Einstein level energy conversation. 1 single gram of this stuff would release more energy than some nuclear bombs. And you know, who is producing all of this stuff? Well, it's CERN, isn't it? You know, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, you know, the giant particle collider that costs billions to build. Using their 27-kilometer underground ring, they accelerate particles close to the speed of light and smash them together. And when this happens, tiny amounts of antimatter are created. Things like, you know, antiprotons, They've built special magnetic traps to hold this antimatter, because the second the antimatter touches anything normal, boom, you know, it's gone. They've literally only ever created or made fractions of a gram of this stuff. But even that costs insane amounts of money. Why? Because it takes massive energy to create it and to keep it stable. Now, to put this in perspective, NASA once estimated that it would cost $62.5 trillion to produce a single gram of antimatter. That is more than most money of most countries, you know. You can't mine it, you can't store it in a jar. You need futuristic tech to keep it from exploding the Earth. Which raises the question, doesn't it? Why are they so invested in creating this stuff? You see, officially, CERN say that they're just doing this to understand the universe, studying why matter won over antimatter, you know, after the so-called Big Bang. But come on, they're sitting on the most potent energy source ever discovered, worth trillions of dollars per gram, and we're supposed to just believe that this is all innocent science. I think more this is something very secretive, you know, as if there's been no military interest on this, no deep agenda, you know. But the thing is, if antimatter ever escapes its containment in large amounts, the energy released, even if it was in a small accident, it would be catastrophic. Nuclear. So let's face it, this isn't just a science lab. This is a portal into forces that most of us couldn't even comprehend. And they're playing with fire at $1 trillion stakes. So the next time you hear about CERN firing up their collider, just remember what they're creating down there is the most expensive volatile substance on Earth. Maybe there's a reason as to why they symbolize all this stuff.
Donald J. Trump, my nigga, America. How did you feel?
Oh shit!
When you heard about the medbed? Oh, you son of a bitch! This is how it works.
Medbed.
When they say that they're lying, they're telling the truth, and when they're telling the truth, they're lying. So for the people that don't know, apparently Donald Trump, no, you son of a gun, Donald Trump posted an AI fake news report about medbeds, claiming that every American citizen would get a free medbed card and could go and collect. These medbeds are supposed to heal you any disease. Apparently, you can live forever, but it's all just a hoax. It's made up. There's no such thing as a medbed.
Nah, that shit real.
Entertainment purposes only.
Elysium. I think that was in Elysium.
He wants to tell us stuff, but he knows he can only tell us through code.
Tell me a time you ever saw Brooklyn flooded like this after a rainstorm. I am born and raised in Brooklyn. I have never saw Brooklyn look like this after a rainstorm. So you're telling me the rain came off the coast and did this to Brooklyn? Or are you telling me that our drainage system is just that bad that Brooklyn is flooded like this? I've been through Hurricane Sandy. We had some crazy storms in the 90s. We had some crazy storms in the 80s. And I ain't never seen Brooklyn look like this. We see what Hurricane Melissa did to Jamaica. But then if you go down that rabbit hole and you look up Vision 2030 Jamaica, tell me what that means. So now you gotta ask yourself what's going on in Brooklyn, because I've never saw rain do that to Brooklyn, let alone a spot in Brooklyn that's not about water. And this is for entertainment purposes only. But this leads me back to Texas. Earlier this year, floods, rain, unexplainable rain, no warning, no nothing. So you're telling me that these people didn't know that Brooklyn was gonna get this type of weather? And then I have to ask myself, what do they want with Brooklyn? What do they want with Brooklyn? I'm gonna just say this. I've never seen Brooklyn look like that ever in my whole entire existence.
Never.
Pay attention.
Noel's family UFO encounter. Mother Faye, her sons Patrick, Sean, and Wayne, and their two dogs were driving from Perth to Melbourne, and they were approaching this bright light, and all of a sudden this light hovered above their vehicle, freaked them out, so they just started driving as fast as they could. This thing just stayed above their car. They said that it was vibrating their car. They could feel it in their heads. My goodness. And then all of a sudden this light above them picked up the car like a magnet.
While it's driving.
While it's driving. They claim that they were telepathically communicated with, a feeling of presence trying to get inside of their minds.
Oh, boy.
The air inside the car became thick with a strange black dust. And then this thing just threw the car off the side of the road. And they were able to drive afterwards.
Yeah.
But their car, like their roof was dented in. There's scratches all up on the top.
It's a
and
true
on the
story.
sides. They immediately drove to the police department.
Sure.
And reported it. They were dismissed. But it remains one of the most credible and dramatic UFO close encounter cases in the southern hemisphere.
Crazy.
Morbid Facts,
What
Part
y'all think?
788.
Y'all
In
believe in that?
2008, 18-year-old Joshua Maddox left his home in Woodland Park, Colorado for a short walk and was never seen again. 7 years later, his mummified body was discovered inside the chimney of an abandoned cabin less than a mile from his house. He was found in a fetal position wearing only a thermal shirt with his other clothes neatly folded nearby. The coroner ruled his death an accident, suggesting he tried to enter the cabin through the chimney and became trapped. But the bizarre details, his position, the missing clothing, and the fact that the chimney was blocked off from the inside have fueled theories that Joshua didn't end up there by accident but was placed there by someone else. In 1930, a mannequin appeared in the window of a bridal shop in Chihuahua, Mexico, so lifelike that locals swore she wasn't made of wax at all. Her glass eyes, detailed hands, and visible veins fueled rumors that she was the embalmed body of the shop owner's daughter, a bride who died on her wedding day. Nicknamed La Pascualita, she's remained on display for nearly a century, still leaving visitors to wonder if they're looking at a mannequin or a corpse in a wedding dress.
Do y'all know about Mammoth Cave in Kentucky? Because this place definitely wins as the spookiest place in the natural world. First of all, it is the longest natural cave system in the world with 420 mapped miles of passages. And that is all of it.
I want to go there.
Experts believe this only represents 10% of the total cave. It's also considered one of the most haunted places in the US, with more than 150 documented paranormal events, many from credible witnesses like park rangers and scientists. Early Native Americans were the first to find the cave nearly 4,000 years ago. They bravely explored about 6 miles of the cave with the only light source coming from their torches, some of which you can still find in the cave today, perfectly preserved. But then, after nearly 2,000 years of visiting the cave, Native Americans just stopped going there. And that's when the white settlers came in. The cave was then rediscovered in the 19th century and was eventually purchased by Dr. John Croghan for $10,000 in 1839. With this purchase, Croghan received several enslaved people, one of whom was a cave guide named Stephen Bishop. And who the National Park Service now deem as one of the greatest explorers Mammoth Cave has ever seen, which is far more than what Dr. Croghan contributed, which was just straight up creepy. He used the cave as a tuberculosis tent and moved 15 patients inside, thinking that the conditions of the cave would cure their TB. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Dr. Croghan's consumption colony was a total fail, with Croghan dying of TB himself in 1849. Now here's the spooky part. You can still see the remains of Dr. Croghan's consumption cabins while touring the cave. And in front of one of these cabins is a slab of stone, upon which the dead bodies of the TB patients were placed before being removed from the cave. This slab is aptly called Corpse Rock. Some people say they can still hear coughing in this section of the cave. And that is just where the paranormal encounters begin. During a blackout, which is when the guide will turn off all electric lights to show you what it would feel like to explore the cave with just an oil lantern, guide Larry Purcell noticed a black family standing behind the rest of his tour group, which surprised Purcell because he hadn't noticed any black tourists in his group. When Purcell turned the electric lights back on, he looked for the black family but couldn't find a single African American on his tour. The room where the ranger saw the black family is called the Methodist Church because miners once held religious services there. During those days, if a black family attended a service, it was customary for them to stand back a distance away from the whites in the group. Besides ghosts, the cave also holds bodies. One mummy found from pre-Columbian times, dubbed Lost John, was found under a 6-ton boulder that had crushed him while mining. The body was so well preserved that his woven sandals, the fabric on his clothing, even his facial expression was completely intact. The cave essentially freeze-dried him into place. And don't forget, we're capping off Spooky Science series with our Halloween YouTube episode dropping on October 30th. You don't want to miss that.
A very obviously demon-possessed man broke into a church, and instead of trying to cast the demon out, the pastor decided to call the police and stand in the back of the church. Trigger warning, I am going to show you a small clip of the video. It's not too bad, but it's
ain't
a
a
little
movie.
bit weird.
Shit, it's real life. He don't want no parts of that. Oh.
That was footage from the body cam of the police officer. The guy was like ranting and raving about how he is Jesus Christ and he was tearing apart the altar. He even attacked the police officer at one point, and the priest just stood in the back not saying a word. Even though he was very clearly demonically possessed, he kept throwing himself down. If you watch the whole video, he just keeps standing back up and throwing himself down violently, which is literally what the Bible says happens when people are demonically possessed. In Mark 9, the guy goes up to Jesus and says, whenever the demon seizes him, it throws him down and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. And if that doesn't convince you that this is literal possession, when he got up close, his eyes got like black lines through them, like how rock and roll does like the black makeup.
That's crazy.
In the video,
Spooky.
it like comes over his eyes. There's a lot of places in the Bible that say things along the lines of like, woe to the worthless shepherd, woe to the shepherd that doesn't care about my flock. And there's a passage or two in the Old Testament that say in the end times, God will strike the idle or worthless, in some translations, shepherds, and their flocks will scatter. And I'm not trying to make a snap judgment, but if you are a pastor in a church and you just do nothing about that when a man is obviously suffering from demonic possession, like biblical, like it's exactly like how it is in the Bible, and you call the cops and don't try to like cast it out, that's a problem, because Jesus gives all of us the authority to tread on serpents and scorpions and all powers of the enemy with nothing harming us. So if you're teaching on God's authority as a job, you should be an example of that. And I think we're going to see a lot more of these types of things materializing. And I also think that there's going to be a lot of underdogs and random, just like everyday believers casting out demons while the priests hide.
Here's why you almost never hear your doctor talk about fasting, because if everybody started doing it, the entire healthcare industry would lose billions. There's no profit in doing nothing. Dietitians, nutritionists, doctors would all go out of business. Think about it. Fasting doesn't need a powder, a pill, or a prescription. It is literally subtraction, not eating for a certain period of time. And yet it is one of the most powerful metabolic resets known to science. When you fast, insulin levels will drop. Your body switches into fat burning and cellular cleanup. Autophagy kicks in your body, literally starts recycling damaged cells. It is like your body hit that reset button that no supplement can do for you. Truth is, fasting heals because it gives your body space to do what it was designed to do. God built your body to repair itself, but the modern world keeps us eating spiking glucose and insulin, silencing the natural repair system. There is no money in teaching people how to heal themselves. That is exactly why you need to do this, because the most powerful therapy you will ever use is the one that costs you nothing. It's called fasting.
Hey, fact, man.
This is all fun and games until you were able to look them eye to eye. Because when you were down there and you couldn't see their face and they were able to look down on you, there was no issues with your growth. But the more you grew and the taller you got and the more you were able to see them, the more worried they got, the more nervous they got, the more they wanted to gatekeep their energies. Because they know once you catch up, it's no competition. And they don't like the fact that you looking them dead in their eyes now. They don't get the fact that doubt is one of the biggest motivators for the chosen soul, because we've been doubted our entire life. We've had motherfuckers sleep on us from the jump and have had to wake people up to our energies every single time. So when we're doubted, we're in familiar territories and we know how to show people how to stop doubting us like that. And this is also why chosen souls don't talk. They just go to work because they understand everybody's against them. So that talking is only going to make their work harder, versus if they let that work speak for themselves, can't nobody say.
So I was recently talking to a friend and we were diving into just how much your subconscious impacts your reality. And so a lot of you know the story of David versus Goliath. We don't need to dive into the story. What you need to know is there's small David, he overcomes big Goliath. We'll get to this in a second, but all of us were born into distorted forms of truth, distorted forms of love, acceptance, you know, through ancestral traumas, ancestral energies, inherited traumas and energies, things that you experience, things that put you into a form of collapse where you think that love is transactional, where you have to prove yourself for love. Now, it's important to understand this because you are a computer, okay? Your subconscious mind holds a lot of your programming and you are going to act according to your programming. This is why your subconscious dictates 90 to 95% of your actions. Many people face challenges within their life, not because because you need to learn, not because you need to grow, but because you subconsciously believe that you need to prove yourself. You believe that you need to overcome a Goliath so that you can prove that you're worthy of life, that you're worthy of love, that you're worthy of being you, taking up space on this earth. It's not that life, universe, God, the great mystery is giving you challenges. It's actually you that's creating these challenges because you feel subconsciously that you need to prove something. This is why when I talk about manifesting, there's so many manifestation coaches on this app telling you how to learn how to manifest. You can't learn how to manifest. You're a manifester. You're doing it all the time. There's no way to not do it. What you can learn is how to consciously manifest. If you're calling something into you, most of the time it's not about putting conscious energy to it, not thinking more about it, not living in that energy more, but it's actually removing the barrier that's keeping it from you. You're creating a Goliath that you feel like you have to overcome so that you can be worthy of the thing that you're manifesting. Well, you can also just remove the programming of that Goliath and realize that it's your birthright and it will come to you. Most people want to jump from self-hate to self-love, and that's a pretty rapid jump, and it's going to take a lot of time because it's hot to cold, right? Black to white. The key is you don't need to make a massive leap. What you actually just need to do is enter a space of non-judgment, acceptance of things as they are, acceptance of yourself as you are. You don't need to change anything about you right now because you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're exactly who you're supposed to be, light and shadow included. You just need to witness who you are and come into a space of non-judgment so you can learn about yourself. Why am I this way? What is this teaching me? What is this calling me into? What is my next expansion? I swear to you, from my own personal experiences, non-judgment is the space that's going to open you up energetically so that everything starts coming in. You don't need to change anything. You're exactly where you need to be.
What the?
That's all facts.
Hey, I cannot be the only one that's feeling this right now. Y'all, as I'm sitting here, sitting underneath the sun, right? I feel like I'm being supercharged by the sun, but at the same time, I feel like I'm being hit by waves of energy. What the? Y'all, I cannot be the only one that's feeling this right now. Is anyone else feeling this? Can y'all go find stillness somewhere, y'all? Go find stillness somewhere. Like, primarily in the sun, right? But find stillness, and it feels like you're underwater. It literally feels like you're underwater. Is anybody else feeling this right now? I feel like I'm literally underwater right now. Like, not literally, but spiritually, like esoterically, energetically, I feel like I'm underwater. I'm getting it. I'm within the waves. Is anybody else experiencing this right now? Bro,
I've been underwater before, but not in a good way.
Something big is going on, bro.
I down feel bad.
Like it feels something big is happening.
Wrote a song about it. Go check it out.
Do y'all feel that?
To become a creator in your life and truly practice it. If you're feeling the feeling of your future, you can't look for it. How could you look for it if you feel like it already happened? And we cannot attract anything in our life that we feel separate from. And that means you got to maintain that modified state of mind and body to keep your vision alive. And if you do, the experiment should be, hey, I'm doing this to experiment. Is it the truth? I'm doing it for the truth, to take the belief and actually behave that way to ultimately become the creator of my life. And so that you fall in that zone, you fall into that flow. And now you're gonna want to feel that feeling more than you're gonna want to feel your victimization. And that's when you no longer belong to your past. That's when you belong to your future.
Hey, you know when the Flash be fighting somebody and he moving so fast that he looking at them motherfuckers in slow motion? That's how you are with these energetic attacks now. And that's why you're so unmoved, because you're able to perceive this in real time and see these people trying to utilize your energy and harvest your to be able to manifest what they want in their reality. Yeah. And that's why your poker face been hitting a little different, because you really are unmoved by this, because you're able to see it and perceive it and move accordingly every single time. It wasn't until you regulated that nervous system, until you stopped acting out of emotions, that you were able to see this and notice how nobody was able to tell you how to do those things. You had to go within and really figure it out on your own, regardless of how hard that sounds. And that's why your power is so immense right now, because you did the work to be able to go within and figure out what works for you and not what somebody tells you works for them.
Everything you call reality is an echo of the images you create mentally. The events around you are delayed effects of fantasies that you feed in silence, and this awareness awakens a discomfort you can't ignore. Remember when a recurring thought preceded a concrete event? It seems like your mind wrote the script. Neville Goddard states that there exists an invisible self that navigates through dimensions and organizes the circumstances according to the feeling you assume. When you test this thesis in simple situations, you realize that coincidences become the pattern. Small imaginative experiences produce physical results and chance loses its meaning. You understand that your identity merges with what it manifests. And there's no longer a separation between what creates and what experiences. Every imagined choice reverberates in your life. And postponing this responsibility is to abdicate the power that has always been in your hands.
That's facts, man. Y'all gotta stay tapped in, man. Don't let this world take your spirituality. We're not just human beings. We're spiritual beings. And you can create your own reality. I believe that. You know what I mean? I believe that. If you know, you know. You know, whatever your perception of this world is on the inside, that's what's gonna reflect on the outside. So you always gotta be conscious. You always gotta stay mindful on what you speak and how you feel, what you think. That's why the entertainment industry is so big. That's why this world gives you so many distractions every second, every minute. That's why the news always trying to scare the shit out of you and just make you feel like there's no hope. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay tapped in, man. You gotta rise above that. Transcend, transmute, transform. You are the alchemist. You are the creator. You have God energy within you. We are all made in the image, right? We all got a piece of that power. If you know, you know. What y'all think about the whole Simpsons thing, man? You know, as far as like us living in a simulation, because we don't believe in coincidences, right? I mean, fool me once, yeah, like if it happens once, but if it keeps happening over and over and over again, there's something behind that. So what's your thoughts on the Simpsons and all the predictions that's come true already, and then the things that they say are gonna come, right? And what about what about that robot? You know what I'm saying? The $20,000 for the Neo robot in the house, running off like Chat GPT or whatever. I don't know how I feel about that. It's nice that it's only like 55 pounds. You know what I mean? Because if you've seen any of my past videos about AI, having a robot, like a big, you know what I mean, steel and hydraulics robot in your house, if it turns red like an iRobot and starts trying to choke you out, it's over for you. But a 55-pound robot, no big deal. We could take that. You know what I mean? We could push him over, right? But I don't know how I feel about that, man. I feel like it's just another device. You got smart TVs with cameras on them that's watching inside your house. You got your Alexa devices that's hearing everything you say. You got your cell phones that's tracking your every move. And then you're gonna put a robot in your house that's pretty much an in-house snitch, can hear and see everything you're doing, and could probably call the police on you or whatever. I mean, who knows what you're doing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Or it could just, somebody could hack it. Somebody could hack it and make it choke you out while you sleep. Who knows, man? I don't know. It's cool, but at the same time, it's questionable. And then as far as the CERN shit go, I mean, I don't know. If you know, you know. But if you're a theorist, you know, I'm into all that stuff. So I've been knowing about CERN, but what in the fuck are they doing? Like at what point? It's kind of like, why would you mess with certain stuff? When you messing with something that can destroy the world, what's the point? Don't you live in the world too? Like, what's the end goal? What's the end goal? I don't know. It's weird. But on that, I digress. You let me know what you think about that. I am a believer in the med beds. I think that's a thing on the low. If you're rich enough, you can get in the know. But I'm pretty sure they got something like that, man. I think that they absolutely have a device you can lay in, and that shit probably regenerate your whole body. I think they made a movie. It's been a while, but I think I watched a movie called Elysium, and they had a machine like that, man. I'll put it up on the screen, you know what I'm saying, to go check that out. But I believe in that stuff. I think it's probably saved for the ultra rich. You know what I mean? Get rid of cancer, just like that. Any type of ailments, just like that. Rejuvenate your skin, you know what I'm saying? If they had one, would you get one? I would definitely get one. Lord knows everybody needs it, right? Yo, anybody ever went to the Mammoth Cave? out in Kentucky, because I want to go. I want to take my family there, man. I ain't know it was haunted and all that, but I guess with the history that comes with it, right? Like, you know, somebody done died in there, something bad done happened, being as old as it is. But anybody ever been to Mammoth Cave? Let me know in the comments how it was, man. I'm thinking about going there. I definitely want to go check that spot out. Grand Canyon as well. I like all that ancient, old, historical, you know, places in the world. I would like to definitely go check that out, man. So if you've been, let me know. Did you experience something paranormal when you was there? You know what I mean? Anything spooky happen? Did you see any of the stuff that she was talking about? And again, man, just to bring it back full circle to you know, towards the end, man, those spiritual clips definitely you know, definitely harness your power. Don't forget who you are. You know, you're not anybody's victim. You're not just some human being, just some skin and bones. We got something inside of us that operates the skin and bones. That's your spirit, that's your soul, and that's who you are. You feel me? So stay tapped in, man. Take care of yourself. You know what I mean? You know, I'm over here. You see me drinking a protein shake while we watching the video. I've been tapping into fasting lately. You know, trying to get it back right. I got a good 20-30 pounds I need to shave off. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, we don't need these pharmaceuticals, man. We really don't. We need nature. We need sun. We need to practice our breathing, and we need to be fasting. And that in itself can regenerate us right back to brand new. You know what I'm saying? And just have a positive mind state, man. Straight up. But anyway, yo, that's it for this one. Thank you for tapping in with me. I appreciate you chilling with me. To all my subscribers, I appreciate you from the bottom to the top. We almost at 100. Be sure to share the video. Give me a thumbs up if you like the content and if you're still here. And stay tuned. We'll be back with another one soon. Peace.